my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Zen. In these videos, I show you how to make one tangle using the Zentangle method of drawing. Today, I'm using a Micron pen called a PN or plastic nib. I have a graphite pencil for drawing and shading and a blending tool called a tortillion. Anything that you have to write with will work just fine. Today I'm also adding a coin. This is a penny because I'm going to make a circle. Typically I would freehand it, but for today I really just want to trace a coin. And then I'm using a 2" by 2" tile called the Bijou tile. And these are available at Zentangle.com. Okay, today's tangle is called Arukas. And it was created or deconstructed by Molly Hollibaugh, and she is the daughter of one of the founders of the Zentangle Company. So she was doodling while on a phone call with the company Sakura, which is the maker of these pens. There's the little Sakura logo. And as she came up with this cute little doodle, she decided to name it Arukas, which is Sakura backwards. Just a cute little story. Okay, I'm going to start with my pen actually. And I'm going to make a little bit of a different border than we typically make. So I'm going to stay near the edges, but I'm going to make this a wavy border. Just for fun. It can be straight if you prefer that. And then I'm going to put my coin in my paper. I don't like to center things because then I always feel like it's slightly off. So I'm going to put it off to the side on purpose. And I'm going to trace it. And I'm going to go ahead and just trace it in pen. And like I said, normally if I make Arukas, I would just draw a circle by hand and often smaller than this. But we're going to do something a little bit fun today. Okay, so Arukas is done by making a series of spokes, which are just lines, and then auras. So I'm going to go off to the side of this little circle, and I'm going to put in a narrow band, so 2 little lines. I'm going to do one this way as well. And I'm going to put 2 more down here and probably 2 more up there. I like to make these as if they're going out from the center. So this one is a little bit at an angle. And a couple up here. And when you make this one, you can make fewer or you can make more. It's so much fun to play with. Okay. So I've got that started. So now that I've made the spokes, now I need to go back and aura that circle again. But I'm going to lift my pen each time I get to one of those lines. So I aura and I jump, aura, jump, aura, jump, all the way around. Okay. Now that I've auraed that circle, I'm going to go back and I'm going to put a line on each side of that first shape. So keeping it about the same width, I add a line to each side. And the line to each side of that. And I just keep going, remembering where I started so that I don't double it up. So right there. And right there is where I started. So now I'm going to stop for a second. And now I'm going to add that next aura circle. So same thing, I just go right along that circle, I jump up and keep going. Now I am keeping mine about the same size, but you can imagine how much fun it would be to make some of these really wide and some of them more narrow and just play around with it. Okay, those didn't line up very well, but that's okay. Now I'm going to add, I'm just calling them spokes, but I'm going to add these lines to each side, nice and slowly. And then I'm back to where I started. Aura again. Remember to loosen the grip on your pen. Okay, so this one I don't have room for a line, so I'm going to put one on this side. And those. And I'm back to the beginning. Look at how this tile is filling up so beautifully. All right, I'm going to go ahead and aura. Now, you might be like me where you're getting to the edge. Just imagine if there's room for a line. If there's not, then don't add it. Don't worry. Now there's no more spokes over here, so I'm just going to go around. Like that. And now look at that's getting filled up, and look at the cool shapes that it's making. So now I want to put in these auras that are getting smaller. Add the spokes where you can. And I'm just going to keep going. I think it's important at this part to remember that you don't have to speed up. Treat each line with importance and intention. Okay, now I'm getting to the end here, so when I get to this one, I've got room for one more little orb. This one I don't really have room, but if I've got extra space for a line, I can just add another line in there. Up here I've got a little bit of room, and right there I do not. Okay, all right, now I'm going to outline this whole thing. You don't have to do this part. I just like the little frame that it makes. Okay, so now we've got this center area here, and I used a penny because I wanted it to be rather large. But in this empty area, you could do another tangle, you could add a word, you could draw a little picture. There's so many things that you could do. But I'm going to just show you a very basic water droplet. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I'm just going to show you how I would do it. So first I'm going to go back and make sure this line is nice and dark with my pen. Okay, I'm going to pick up my pencil and I'm going to imagine light coming into this little water droplet on this side here. So I like to draw a little bit of an inside aura with my pencil, very, very light. And then I like to draw another one below it, imagining that I've got these little circles. And then I close off each end. Okay, so now I'm going to make this part really dark, and I'm going to leave this white for right now. So I'm going to take my graphite pencil and I'm going to shade really dark right there. And I'm going to kind of imagine it curving down like this. And I'm also going to make this area right here a little bit dark. And then I like to just sort of make this roundish shape right here. And this is where the light's going to come through. But this just reminds me to keep it in this circular sort of shape. So I'm going to add some shading up here. And get a little bit lighter as I go down. Okay, now that I've got some graphite on my little circle, I'm going to smooth it out with my blending tool. If you do not have a blending tool, you can grab a Q-tip. You could use a little piece of tissue. You could even use your finger. I'm going to smooth this out up here. And then I want it to get a little bit lighter and lighter and keep this white down here. So I'm going to smooth out this. And then I'm going to slowly bring it down. And I'm touching it so lightly. And the idea is that this is the darkest part and this is going to be the lightest. And I'm going to put a little bit of graphite down here at the very, very bottom. See how I left this white? I pick up my graphite pencil again. I add a little bit around these edges. And I'm going to add a little bit more up here. Then I'm also going to section this off. So I'm going to make a little bit there and a little bit here to give that more of a unique glare. I'm going to make mine a little bit smaller. Then I pick up my pencil again and I just soften all of that. Dark to light. Okay. Now the last part of this is down here where the light comes out. So directly across from this little reflection, I'm going to draw a little hill. It's hard to see over my tangles. And then I'm going to come down the side here and I'm going to connect it to the edge of that hill and off the side here and connect it. And I'm going to color that in really dark. You'll be able to see it better once I get it colored in. Okay. So even though this little water droplet or gem is clear, it still casts a shadow. So I soften this area. This is where the light comes out, and then it just sort of blends down, keeping this light. Okay, I hope that made sense. I have another YouTube video that shows water droplets as well. But that's basically it. Just a fun way to fill it in, dark to light, and this little light reflection out there. Okay, now I'm just going to do the Arukas, and I'm just going to put some graphite along these little edges where those spokes came in. And when I soften those and push them out, it gives that some depth. So I'm going to go ahead and do that all around. I don't want to mess too much where the reflection was, but a little bit's okay. Then I'm also going to add some on this inside border. And it just gives the illusion that that whole thing is sort of tucking in behind a frame. All right, I grab my pencil and I push out these areas. And then I soften that edge along the frame. There we go. Arukas plus a little water droplet. I really hope you enjoyed that. As always, we initial our work. And on the back, write the date and write a sentence about what's on your mind, what's in your heart this week. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.